Hi guys, how's it going? It's me, Megan, and this is Sunday. We'll see if she stays for this video. And if you guys are new to my channel, I'm a full-time reseller on Poshmark and a few other platforms, but mostly Poshmark. And here on YouTube, I like to make reseller content. I'll do it sold videos, I'll do unboxings, I'll do all that good stuff. So if that is something you guys are interested in, please make sure to like and subscribe, and that way you'll never miss one of my videos. Sorry again that I have kind of been MIA and slow to put out videos. If you guys saw my last video, I just mentioned that, me and my husband kind of went on like a week-long vacation, and then I got back and had gotten sick from that, and so I'm just kind of behind with reselling and everything for pretty much not working for 2 weeks, but finally I'm catching up. Also, if you're interested in what I'm wearing and like why am I wearing this, I actually made this kind of. If you guys remember, if you saw, I think it was my last bins haul video. Oh, there goes Sunday. I thrifted this universal thread jacket. It was like a pale green, and then I dyed it a dark green, and then I crocheted these sleeves and I sewed them on. And I think it came out pretty okay, mostly because you cannot see the stitches. This is the first thing I sewed on my sewing machine that my mother-in-law gave me, so I'm pretty excited. But yeah, it looks pretty decent. um, yeah, anyway, today I'm going to be sharing my best sales from February. I'm going to be sharing my best sales from February because I don't know how many sales I actually shared that I had in February, and I did have some pretty good ones, and they were about a month ago, but still pretty recent. And then next week, I think I'm going to be doing a recap of my Christmas Thriftmas THREDUP unboxing videos. If you guys watch those and you want to know if I profited or not, I think I'll do that next week. And I have some other videos to post and just a bunch of stuff. So hopefully I can get my act together and get things posted. But anyway, for today, I'm going to again be sharing my best sales from February 2024. I'm going to start with everything I sold in the $40 range. I sold this Reset R Label Silk Long Sleeve. I don't know if you guys have heard of this brand. There was like a weird period of time, like a few months, where I saw this brand everywhere. I saw it once recently, but I ended up passing on it. It can sell for a lot, but you can also sit on it for a while. So I don't know how popular it is. This top ended up selling for 40, and after fees I made 32. And I probably got it at a thrift store near me, so probably spent about like $8 on that. Then I sold this new tag pair of Madewell trousers. Got these recently, or at the time, recently, at Goodwill near me. So I spent about $10 on those. They sold for 45, and after fees I made 36. And then I had sold the Skims black maxi ribbed dress. I get lucky finding Skims at the bins, I think because people don't recognize the label. It's kind of hard to read. It's like embossed on black material, and it can get worn out pretty easily and be hard to read. But luckily, I own Skims stuff, so I recognize it. And their maxi dresses are pretty trendy and sought after, so I was excited to find that. And I think it was in a size large. Ended up selling for 40, and after fees I made 32. Then I sold this and other stories Fair Isle sweater, I think probably before Valentine's Day last month, because it did have hearts on it and it was really cute. I actually got this when I was in Connecticut last September, or no, probably during Christmas time. I had never really found the brand in other stores, and I found it twice while I was there, so I was excited to try it out. Sold for 45, and after fees I made 38.49. Then I sold this Y2K Ilia, Illia, I believe, leather vest top. I had this top for a while. I actually got this the one time I went to Stockton, and I'm not going to remember the name of the store. Vanessa, if you're watching, I ran into somebody who watches my videos, one of you guys, at the bins this last week, and she mentioned that she goes there and she's from Stockton, so she knows what I'm talking about. But there's like this, I'm going to say the wrong name again, Crossroads outlet, maybe, possibly, and they just have good like stuff. I went once because it is pretty far away from me. I ended up relisting this piece on Depop after I've had it for about a year. I don't really relist things on Depop, but I did. I guess I was surprised it hadn't sold yet. And it sold the same day I relisted it on an offer of 42.50, and after fees I made 36.09. Those leather full zip like fitted vests are still pretty trendy, I would say. Then I sold this Y2K Tropical Tantrum, which is the brand, Hawaiian dress. Got this at the bins. I just really liked it. You could tell it was a bit older and it had some beadwork on it, and it's just really cute. Sold for $45.90 on Depop, and after fees I made $39.04. Then another Depop sale, these new with tag, Abercrombie and Fitch 90s straight leg jeans. I think I got these in Connecticut as well. And I think they were half off, so I got them for $10. They were marked at 20. Got them for 10. Sold for 40 on Depop, and after fees I made 33.90. And the last thing I sold in the $40 range in February was this 90s Jam World mini dress. Really, really cute. Again, something I picked up when I was in Connecticut. Sold for 40, and after fees I made $33.91. All right, and then for sales in the $50 range, I sold this singlet, this like athletic singlet romper from the brand Fleo, FLEO. I pick up a lot of these athletic like one pieces, rompers, jumpsuits, and I've been doing pretty well with them, especially in brands that I had never heard of before. I found this at the bins and decided to, take a chance on it. Ended up selling for 51, and after fees I made $40.80. Hopefully you can't hear that car alarm going off. Oh, it stopped. Okay. Then I sold these Y2K Massimo suede boots. These I've also had for a little while. I got these at the bins probably close to a year ago now. Shoes at my bins are $3.05 a pair, and I just thought these were really cool. They were actually leather, and Massimo is an old Target brand that I don't think they sell anymore. Um, but yeah, I was surprised that they were genuine leather in really good condition. Sold for 55 on Poshmark, and after fees I made 44. Then I sold these dingo cowboy boots, again, something I got when I was in Connecticut. I thought they were really cute. Both me and my mom kind of wanted to keep them, but I decided to list them. I ended up buying them for $10, and I thought that comps looked a little bit better, but I did sit on them for a while. They finally sold for 50, and after fees I made 40. Then I sold this Mizzen and Main gingham button up. Mizzen and Main is one of those men's brands. Like I've been finding a lot more good men's brands recently because I've been looking in the men's section more. I just always in my mind assumed it's really picked over for some reason because I just imagine a lot of the resellers that I notice in my area are men and that they're looking for stuff like that. But I think they're looking for very specific things, again, like vintage t-shirts. So this is a new to me brand, and I've had good luck with it. This one sold really well. It sold for 54, and after fees I made 41.18. And then I found the same shirt as this one, and I listed it, and that sold recently this month for 40. So it's a pretty decent brand. Definitely one to keep an eye out for, and some of their patterns are really cute. It's a very interesting material. It's like stretchy and thick, so pretty comfortable. Then I sold this Wyeth, that's the brand. It's spelled Wyeth. It's a whoa, leopard wool hat. I've had this also for a while. I got this at a Goodwill, and I don't really look at hats or pick up hats, but this one just caught my attention. And I think the retail value was pretty high on it. I just sat on it for probably close to a year, and someone ended up sending me an offer on Mercari for 54, and after fees I made 46.15. Probably spent about $10 on that. And you guys might remember, I think I shared this sale with you guys last month, but it was this Twilight fleece blanket. This is a huge bolo. If you find these like authentic Y2K or Twilight Times, whenever the movies were coming out, fleece blankets that they sold, I feel like people like Goodwills and stuff won't mark them up, but I found this at the bins, and a couple of years ago I found a different Twilight fleece blanket at the bins, and they sell really quickly. This one sold for 50, and after fees I made 42.56. And then the last thing I sold in the $50 range was this pair of Everlane barrel jeans. Barrel jeans are kind of, I guess, controversial on TikTok, and I notice people like to style them and see if they actually like look good, and like some people hate them, some people love them. So I was excited to find Everlane pair at a local Goodwill. So I spent about $11 on those. That's what jeans are in my area. I always say $10, but technically it's $10.99, so 11. Sold for $55.20 on Depop, and after fees I made $47.04. Then just a few sales in the $60 range. This Meshki maxi dress in a size extra, extra small. I picked this dress up in Connecticut mostly based on style. I think I spent about $10 on it. I've seen this brand since, I think just one time, and I just passed on it because I don't know how well the brand does versus, style with the brand, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think just any Meshki dress is going to get you a 10, but if it's a really, cute, trendy style, it probably can. This one ended up selling for 63, and after fees, it made $50.40. Then I sold this Carrig Dawn, I believe that's how you pronounce it, fisherman cardigan. I believe it was from Ireland, like most of these are. I pick these up pretty much every time I see them. I pay up for them, and I do buy them occasionally with flaws. Huge holes I wouldn't do, huge stains I wouldn't do, but this did have a small stain on the side. And yeah, just make sure that they're not like shrunk. That's a huge thing with wool. But this ended up selling for 68 pretty quickly on Depop, and after fees I made $58.30. Again, probably spent about $10 on that because I got it at a local Goodwill. And the last thing I sold in the $60 range last month was this Diane von Furstenberg silk belted dress. I have a few, or had a few, of these silk Diane von Furstenberg wrap dresses that a bunch of resellers swear by picking up, but I had sat on them for a long time. I think now they're selling, obviously, because it's spring and summer and people wear dresses more often during this time. But you might have to sit on them, I guess is what I'm saying. This one was really nice. Ended up selling for $60 on eBay, and after fees, I made $53.12. All right, and then for the sales I had in the $70+ range, I sold this Frank and Eileen Mary dress. You guys might remember this. I found this at the bins last month, and it sold, I think, within a day or two. I hadn't realized until I was photographing it that it was actually, the collar had been cut off. I just thought that that was like the style, but I made sure to like say like this is a Mandarin collar. It's not like a normal collar. And someone still purchased it, sold for 100, and after fees I made 80. Frank and Eileen is a fantastic brand, especially if you can find their dresses. I don't know if they only make linen pieces, but they make a lot of linen pieces. Then I sold this vintage Diane Friss. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Silk maxi dress. This I sat on for a while, probably longer than a year. I found two of this designer's dresses at a Goodwill, again, like a year or so ago. One was like more 90s style. That sold really quickly for like over 100. This one I sat on. I had a list really high, was probably the problem. But she's kind of known more for this sort of like 80s colorful style dress. Someone finally sent me an offer of 80 on Poshmark, and I accepted, and I made 64. Again, spent $10 on that. Then I sold these Anthro Mave faux leather pants. These actually sold really fast. I got these at a Goodwill at the time, and again, they're probably like $10. I kind of went back and forth because they were a petite, and I do talk a lot, and a lot of resellers mention how, petites are just harder to sell, I think, because people are kind of, I don't know, scared of petites. But this was a very new style. I think these pants might have either just been listed on Anthropologie or were still available on there, so they were a newer style. Sold for 75 on Poshmark, and after fees I made 60. Then I sold this C by Chloe denim mini dress. C by Chloe is a lower line of Chloe, which is a really great designer brand. I have sold a couple of C by Chloe pieces in the past, and I think one Chloe piece that I had gotten in a DIY designer box from THREDUP. But this I found at a Goodwill, and yeah, I thought it was cute. It was in really good condition. There weren't a lot of comps, and I do think it was an older style, so it did take a little while to sell, but it finally sold for 70 on eBay, and after fees I made 64.91. Then I sold this pair of Wilfred trousers. I think I got these the same day I got the Maeve Anthropologie faux leather pants I was just talking about, and also in the $40 range, those new Attack Madewell trousers. I really love finding Wilford pieces. It's an Aritzia brand, and it's an Aritzia brand that does the best for me. These ended up selling for 82 on Poshmark, and after fees, I made 65.60. Trousers are still really trendy, so if you can find like a modern style trouser in a good brand, you could still get a lot for them. And then the last sale I'm going to share with you guys from February was actually on the RealReal. I don't really share a lot of my RealReal sales, the RealReal sales, because they're not usually very good. I usually am sending them in, designer pieces I found at the bins that I know I'm just going to make like a couple of bucks on, or really old inventory of mine that, I'm either going to donate or I can send into them. And again, just making like a few bucks, literally a few dollars, like $3. Um, but I found this Brunello Susinelli, I have no idea how you pronounce that, jacket randomly at a thrift store in Connecticut with my mom. And I say randomly because that specific thrift store we bought it at, I like when we were in Connecticut, I never find stuff at that thrift store. But I saw it. I saw that the buttons were like branded with it, that it was down, that it was like really, really nice condition, and comps were super high on like Poshmark and everything. So I bought it for $12. I listed it on my own in like the $600 range, and this was during like the winter time. This I think I got in September when I was in Connecticut. So like I thought maybe somebody would buy it going into like the end of fall and the beginning of winter, but it wasn't getting as much attention as I thought it was going to. So my backup plan was always to send it into the RealReal, but be pretty vigilant about it, making sure that they mark it correctly and everything. Whereas other stuff I send them, I'm like, whatever. um, so I sent it into them. They marked it at like $500, which was just not what like the other jackets they have from this brand were listed at. It was like half or a quarter of the price. So I had to reach out to them because they didn't list it correctly at all. They didn't say that it was down filled or that it had a real fur collar and it had wool and cashmere and whatever. So they fixed the listing. They didn't up the price. So I'm like, okay, you fixed the listing, but you didn't up the price. So then they upped the price to like 900 and something. But they literally had the same exact jacket as mine, like somebody else's listing, but it was missing the fur collar, but it was the same exact jacket and it was listed for like 2,000 something dollars. So I'm like, why is mine listed for 900 and mine is in like excellent condition, their wording, and this other jacket that's listed in like perfect condition or whatever is, but the same exact jacket is like twice the price as mine. And again, theirs was missing the real fur collar. So it was like a month of going back and forth with them, pretty much saying like, we can't help you, after I reached out to them like 10 times being like, why does this exact jacket on your thing say this? And they're like, we could ship it back to you for $15. I'm like, why would I pay to get it shipped back to me when you're literally, I used the word scamming so that they would finally take me seriously because I was being too nice. Um, and they're like, oh, there's another jack, pretty much acting like I hadn't said the same thing 100 times. Long story short, they finally upped it to a price that I felt comfortable with, which was like, I don't know, $1,500 or something. I don't know. It sold within a couple of days, even though they were like, we can't in good conscience raise it any higher than $900. Sold in a couple of days. I think like 10% off. I'm not sure. I'll have, oh, yeah, with it, probably like a 10% off coupon. Sold for $1,345.50. The other jacket on the website that's just like mine, I'm pretty sure is still for sale and is like 50% off because I knew the value of mine because of the collar and the size and the condition and everything. Anyway, long story short, I made $888 after fees on the RealReal from that sale. So that was absolutely fantastic. That helped a lot because February was a kind of slower month for me. And then again, with March, I had like a couple of weeks, well, a week that I had my closet on vacation, and then a week I was sick. So that really helped with, having a little bit of a boost going into March. But yeah, I wanted to share that with you guys. It's a great brand. If you see it in probably anything, whether it be like a shirt or a sweater, not just like a jacket, I would definitely pick it up and probably try reselling it on your own because I do think that the right buyer will come along. I think if I sat on it, I could have eventually sold it for what I had listed at, which was 600, but I am glad that I ended up sending it into the RealReal, even though they gave me so many issues, because I did end up selling it really quickly and making 800 on it, which was absolutely fantastic. Again, I picked it up for $12 at some random thrift store in Connecticut, which was insane. But yeah, those were my sales from February. Again, I know we're like at the end of March, but I still wanted to share those with you guys. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great time sourcing and selling this week, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye!